What is going on, YouTubers? Welcome to another video. So this video comes at the request of a subscriber. I don't know, maybe they just like talking about it or they're dealing with it. But they want me to talk about the dark side of collecting. So obviously there's pros and cons to any hobby out there. I've been in many hobbies. I used to be a professional Halo player. I'd play video games like Halo 2 and Halo 1. God. Well, let's just say I worked 8 hours a day. The moment I got home, I would play till like 11 p.m. at night. So if I worked till 2:30, got home at 3, I'd play from 3 to 11 every night on the weekend, like 16 hours. I mean, there was definitely a lot of pros and cons to that type of hobby as well. There's pros and cons to everything. Statue collecting. I mean, just to give a little, obviously the positive is you have the most incredible work of art in the world. You're bringing characters you love on screen into your bedroom in a physical format, and they look amazing. There's no doubt that looking at statues every day brings me great joy. I love it. Every time I come into my man cave, I'm wowed. And I freaking love it. And whenever you open a statue and it's so good and you get that like ultimate grail or whatever, it just makes you so happy. The anticipation of the statue makes you happy. There's a lot of things. But of course, there's also a huge dark side of collecting. I think the dark side might be why there's a lot of people that leave this hobby. And I think this affects everyone, probably on different levels. Some it may not even affect. But I think one of the biggest things for your average collector is going to be the financial aspect, simply because these are not cheap. In this room alone is over $100,000 worth of statues. $100,000. That's insane. That is so much money. And so, I mean, that's just this room. I got 3 more bedrooms, a hallway. I mean, we're talking 400 grand in this collection, which is definitely super excessive. And I've definitely lived above my means. No doubt it's caused me financial stress. And I know for a fact it's caused a lot of other people financial stress. I've seen people buying statues off of me that, I mean, could even pay their freaking bills, yet they're still on payment plan with me. Goodness, that just happened even recently. Obviously, collectors getting into debt for this stuff. I won't deny I haven't. So I think for 99% of collectors, it is a financial burden. Because especially those who have like families and kids, I'm like, dude, unless you're making like $350,000 a year with how expensive things are nowadays, you can't afford to be buying statues. If you have like 3 kids, a wife that doesn't work, you just simply cannot collect. Now, I'm in a position where it's me and the wife. We don't have kids. We bought our house when houses were still cheap in Utah. Right now, if you buy a house in Utah, this house would cost you $650,000. At the 7% current mortgage interest rate, this house would be like Jupiter, like $4,000 to $5,000 a month in a mortgage. And they say your mortgage should be 30% of your take-home pay, which I don't think that's true for nearly 99% of people. But fortunately, I was able to get my house cheap. Now, I did refinance, take out some equity. And still, my mortgage is $1,800 a month, which, I mean, it's less than $2,000. I know people paying over $3,000 just for an apartment. So $1,800, not bad, but still. But there's no doubt that financial stress and burden is the number one dark side of collecting for me. And in general, I think for most people, because this stuff is just so expensive. So it definitely causes a lot of stress, especially if, let's say you went way too heavy on the pre-orders, then all of a sudden you got $6,000 worth of pre-order shipping and you just don't have the money. I think in that situation, you got 2 options. You got to cancel and lose your deposit. And deposits are heavy nowadays, especially Queen Studios. You pre-order a bust, that deposit's $1,200. Like, that's a lot of money to lose. And so I would not, like, no way I'm losing a $1,200 deposit. So in that situation, if you don't have the cash in the bank, you use a credit card. You got almost no choice. You're not losing $1,200 on your deposit. So yeah, deposits are getting pretty hefty. It's no longer like $80 deposits. Now like a minimum $200, it seems like. And nobody wants to lose $200. That's still a good chunk of change. So I definitely think finances is the biggest thing. Secondly, of course, the space. Space is such a concern for everyone. For me, it's taken up an entire basement. I mean, think of what I could have did with this basement if I wasn't a collector. I would definitely have, I mean, I probably would have a massive gym and maybe a projector home theater and, like your more traditional man cave instead of like a statue man cave. So space is definitely a huge concern. And I mean, fortunately for me, I am able to just fulfill my entire basement, more or less. But a lot of people, they have it like in their living quarters where they're with their wife, and I know it causes them issues with the wife because they don't want statues there. I once went to a dude's house, and he had statues in his daughter's bedroom, in his bathroom. Like, I mean, technically, yes, I do have statues over there, but mine's a little different. It's not really a used bathroom. But he had statues in every single room in his house and even in the kitchen on the kitchen counter. So I am certain that has caused issues for that person. So the space of the statues definitely causes an issue because these things take up a lot of space. When you got statues like Ash that take up 2 feet by 2 feet, like 30 plus inches tall, they're space hogs. Life-size Endo. I mean, that's a massive space hog. So space, and then there's also the box space. My wife hates my boxes. My garage is completely full. My attic is super full. My under the stairs is super full. And I have some boxes in my spare bedroom, which I'm still trying to turn into a statue room. Wife is not having it though. But the boxes are a huge issue. They take up a lot of space, like more than the statues themselves. Because some of these ship in 3 boxes. I would say on average nowadays, it's a 2 box per statue, and that's really hard. Especially when they're massive boxes. So boxes is definitely a huge issue. I know for some of my buddies that were in like New York renting an apartment, it was such a pain for them because they just do not have the space. So boxes is definitely a huge issue. Thirdly is there's a lot of drama in the statue community. You got people just trash talking, people making up lies and rumors. There's scamming right and left. I mean, I swear, like, if I post I'm searching for a statue in a buy-sell group, within seconds you got 10 scammers saying, hey, PM me. I got what you need. And then you ask them for a photo. They send you a photo they find off Google. They want you to Zelle or Venmo them. They won't do a video call. Their profile's clearly new. And they don't know anything about it. I mean, it's so blatant obvious. But there's scammers, there's drama everywhere, and it's just like a big pain. I honestly wonder how many collectors are out there that are just not part of social media. Maybe they check out some YouTube videos, but they're not like on Facebook or the forums because there's just a lot of drama. Now that drama is relevant in any hobby. I will say that. It's when I was a Halo 2 professional player, there was definitely drama on the Halo 2 forums. There was drama at the events, like I went to Major League Gaming in the hotel, trash talking online. There's definitely drama in every hobby. However, with statue collecting, there's a lot of scammers. And when you're getting scammed on thousands of dollars worth of stuff, that is just like a bullet to the chest. Because technically, I got scammed on my Kratos bust by owner Simsec. He scammed me $1,000 at the end of the day. PayPal denied my claim, and he blocked me, refused to pay me out, and scammed me $1,000, and then sold the bust to someone else. So he's 100% a scammer. And I know he scammed others, but I'm out $1,000 due to that cocksucker. Nothing I can do about it. Fortunately, my financial situation has improved drastically, so it's not as big a deal, but still, it sucks to get scammed. That guy stole money from me, and it really does suck, and it happens a lot. I've seen people get scammed a lot, and scammers are everywhere. That's the thing. It's not just statue collecting. They are everywhere. It is just the world we live in nowadays. So I'd say that is the third thing, is the community drama and scamming is definitely, a dark side of collecting, unfortunately. The next one is the never-ending need and desire to get more. It's never enough. I mean, one would think, looking at my Dragon Ball Z display, it is complete. I don't need anything else. But then KD whips out Goku versus Vegeta. And I'm like, oh my effing gosh, I need that. I love Goku versus Vegeta. Then he whips out, he says he's, making all these dioramas. And I'm like, God, I need that. And I'm like, oh, I need a Majin Vegeta bust. It's never enough. Even though I technically have like the ultimate Kratos display right now, I still want more. I want the Prime 1/3 Kratos, which I pre-ordered. I'm trying to get another young Kratos, a custom. Still trying to get that. Now, I wouldn't mind a young Kratos life-size bust. Like a superior one than the old Gaming Heads one. But I do feel like, in general, it's never enough. No matter how many statues you get, it almost is never enough. And even if you, let's say, get a line and that line's complete, you just move on to the next thing and then you want more and more and more. So it definitely is a never-ending pattern. I've been doing this for 10 years, and there's so many times where I told myself, all right, I got 10 pre-orders left. Once they all come in, I'm done collecting. How many videos have I made saying I'm going to quit collecting? And then Prime 1 does a next level showcase, and they showcase another statue. And I fall in love with that statue, and my mind starts working, thinking how I can move a few pieces, what I can sell to make that statue fit in my collection. And I think a lot of collectors are probably like that, where you see that statue. Like for me, recently, it was the Superman statue I pre-ordered and Leon Kennedy. We pre-ordered both. I believe that Superman's the best Superman statue ever made. Leon Kennedy, Resident Evil 4, one of my favorite Resident Evils, best VR game, that and Village. But yeah, I had to have it. So we made space. And right now I'm still struggling with what to do with future video game statues, because I know there's going to be more video game statues I want. And so I'm definitely, that's the thing, is like I'm always playing video games. I'm a huge gamer. And when I play those really good games like Stellar Blade, Wukong, God of War, I want statues from them. So, and there's a lot of good games coming out this year. Who knows how many statues we'll get. And then I'm like, oh, well, I need was it Phantom Blade? That looks amazingly cool coming out. I'm like, well, I need a statue from that now. So it definitely feels like that never-ending need. Once you fall in love with something, you feel like you need a statue of it. And then when something else better comes out, you got to have that. So it is definitely a never-ending thing. And then the fifth one, Darkside Collecting, is the maintenance. So these things, you can't just leave them where they are. You have to dust them. You have to maintain them. You have to ensure they're protected, because they are so incredibly delicate. You can't have, like cats around your statue. That's why I don't have Jade down here. She stays upstairs. When Raiden and Gizmo are down with me, that door is shut. She is not allowed down here. She will crawl. She will scratch. She will jump on things. If you had children, they could easily, I've seen kids break things. I've seen cat break things. People break things. I've broken things. So that's the annoying thing, is they are so incredibly delicate and fragile that a flick of a finger, I could break that Gandalf staff, for example. These Transformers, thousands of parts, and boom, they could break so incredibly easy. If I had another earthquake, I'm doomed. So the fragile aspect is really annoying, and the fact you always have to dust them. So I think for me, what's helped with my dusting is the fact I got those little battery-operated dusters. I now have 3 of them, actually. But it makes it a lot easier to just dust whenever I want. Because traditionally, in the past, I had to get a 50-foot cord plugged into my one duster, and I would spend 4 hours dusting this man cave. I'd only have 2 speeds, and I would literally spend 4 hours dusting the whole cave. Then I'd vacuum the whole cave right in. So it was really annoying. And as you can see here, I got a bunch of dusters. It's my next Gamefly game. I really like this one as well. So this one's nice because it does have this brush, but the ability to just quickly, just like this, is really convenient. Now, typically what I actually do is I use this and one of the makeup brushes right here, and I'll do a combination of both. So using this with that, and then just doing like one room every other week or something like that and alternate. Like I recently did Marvel and DC and you do video game in this room next. Does definitely make it easier for me. So, but dusting and in general maintenance, ensuring they're protected, not getting, damaged from whatever things, definitely is a huge dark side and annoyance of collecting. Because how many hours now have I spent in the last 10 years dusting statues? So let's just say Jupiter, if it's 4 hours and I was dusting at least every 6 weeks, let's just say like 9 times a year times 4. I mean, we're talking hundreds and hundreds of hours dusting. That's so annoying. And the thing is, I can't hire someone to do this. Like, we typically hire cleaners to clean upstairs, and I will not have a cleaner come in here. They don't know what's delicate and what's not. If they just got a thing and tried doing your typical thing, no. You look at that Vampirella, you got to know those bats. You can't have a super strong wind. You can't dust them with anything else. You have to do a very light wind to be very careful. There are certain things that are very fragile that only I know. I wouldn't even trust another collector to dust my collection. I only trust myself. Only Flankster can dust Flankster statues. Simple as that. And I think that's probably true for a lot of people. So the time needed to dust, and if you happen to break something just from being careless, and then you're just like, God, and then getting it repaired is such a pain. So it's definitely a huge hassle, and for me, a big dark side of collecting. So I would say those are the top 5 biggest things for me in terms of the dark side of collecting. I mean, at the end of the day, I do truly love statue collecting. Every day I'm looking at my statues and I absolutely love them. I love them so much and I truly enjoy them. And I am so excited for all my future pre-orders to come in. So excited for like Lady D coming in soon. Because I had so much fun in the video game, seeing her, fighting her, and having her come into like physical existence in my statue collection on a throne chair in 1/4 is just so cool. So statue collecting is definitely an amazing hobby, but there's definitely some dark sides of it, and I think everyone struggles. Even the extreme wealthy collectors, you definitely know that they have struggles as well. So, I mean, finances is definitely a huge part of, I think, the dark side, but there's definitely a lot of other things as well. So, and everyone has their own problems and issues. Everyone thinks, I always get comments, especially like TikTok and sometimes YouTube, they can have such the ultimate life and I've won the lottery, this and that. And nobody knows this half of it. You guys don't know the story. Everyone has their own issues. Everyone has their own like good things going on in life. So I find it best to not tell people your problems, though. I believe Bruce Lee said that. Don't tell people your problems. Keep it to yourself and your family. Don't tell people about it. Talk about positive things. Keep everything positive. But at the end of the day, do know that everyone does have issues, even the extreme wealthy. Even Elon Musk, the richest man in the world, he has tons of problems, even though he's worth $400 billion. So money doesn't solve everything, but it definitely does make other things easier. The ability to afford $4,000 life-size alien bus. You got to have money for that. Credit cards can only get you so far. You got to be earning the money to pay the cards. Just saying. Anyways, folks, I hope you all enjoyed this video. If there was anything I missed, feel free to throw a link, like a comment on what it was. And we all got to get through these dark sides together, because at the end of the day, what you get to enjoy out of it, I think, does trump the dark side. But if I could go back 10 years, I still would not have collected statues, if I'm honest. It's a joy I wish I never knew. So if I could go back 10 years before I bought PCS Goro 1/4 and Defeng Sheng Goku 1/6, I would have said no and slapped my wrist, say, do not do this. If I did that, I'd probably have 2 rentals, paid off house, and definitely a lot better financially. Anyways, folks, see you in the next one. Have a great day.